We do Netivot Shalom על התורה, Sefer Shmot, the last Parashat, Pikudei, right? Many times when it's not a leap year, we do both, Pikudei. When it's a leap year, we do the last one, Pikudei. Okay. הקדמת משכן לכלים. Building the Mishkan prior to the kelim, to the vessel. בצלאל בן אורי בן חור למטה יהודה, right? He did, עשה את כל אשר ציווה השם את משה. He did everything that Hashem commanded Moshe. And Rashi explained, אשר ציווה אותו משה אין כתיב כאן, אלא כל אשר ציווה השם את משה. So it doesn't say everything that Hashem commanded. It says everything that Hashem commanded Moshe. Which means, it said שאפילו דברים שלא אמר לו רבו, הסכימה דעתו למה שנאמר למשה בסיני. So, בצלאל, like, agreed, even with the thing that his Rav, Moshe, didn't tell him. Still, he was like aligned with him. For example, Hashem commanded Moshe 10 things, but Moshe told Bezalel only 5 things. Bezalel knew about the other 5 things. This is what Hashem commanded Moshe, even if he didn't tell him. Still, he was aligned with him. And this is according to Manda Aita Begmara Masechet Brachot. It says, בשעה שאמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא למשה, לך אמור לו לבצלאל, עשה לי משכן, ארון וכלים. Right? It's according to what in the Masechet Brachot it says. At the time that Hashem told Moshe, go and tell Bezalel, build me a Mishkan, the cabinet, right, or the ark, and the vessels. And Moshe reversed it and told Bezalel, do the cabinet, do the vessels, and then build the Mishkan. So Bezalel replied to him and he said, מנהגו של עולם, אדם בונה בית, ואחר כך מכניס לתוכו כלים. So Bezalel replied to Moshe and said, it's the way of the world. First you build the house, and then you put the vessels inside. And you telling me, do the cabinet, do the vessels, and then to build the house, the Mishkan? Are you sure that this is what Hashem told you? Shem כך אמר לך הקדוש ברוך הוא, maybe Hashem told you this. Build the Mishkan, build the Aron, and build the Kelim. So Moshe, Moshe smiled probably and said, you were there? Shema betzel el aita ve'adata, you were in the shadow of Hashem or under Hashem's wing. V'lichora yesh litmoa, I would say it's a question here. First, how is it possible that Moshe changed the order? And second, what Bezalel explained to him and tell him, this is the way of the world. This is how the world is behaving. Everybody build the house first. What's the other world got to do with that? With Hashem's command. If Hashem commands you something, you do something. It doesn't matter what else is doing. And the answer of Moshe was, Betzel el aita, in the shadow of Hashem you were. In the Tosfot says in Brachot, and he asks this question, he says, where we find really that Hashem commanded to do the house first, to do the Mishkan. Because in the Parashat Truma, it says, Va'asu aron techila, first you build the ark. And he explained that in the Parashat Kitisa, it says, Ktiv et oil moed vet aron leedut. So it said over there in Parashat Kitisa, first the oil moed, and then the ark, then the aron, and then the vessels and everything. Which means, if you build the oil is the tent or the Mishkan, the oil moed, which is the Mishkan first, and then the vessels. You said, okay, so there we have like, mention one first the building, and one first the vessels, and then in reverse. We said, Achen guf hakash. This is the question. Why in Parashat Truma? Lama Parashat Truma? Nizkar b'Torah tzivui al kelim kodem. Why in the Parashat Truma, the donations, the Torah speaking first about the vessels, and in the Parashat Kitisa, it's talking about the Mishkan and then the vessels. So that's the question, right? So what's going on here? It's sometimes it's in this order, sometimes in the other order, in the two Parashiyot. Ve'esh tomar, we can say it is according to what it says in Torah Avot. בעניין המשכן, שהוא סביב הכלים, מורה על עניין אמונה. So right, relearning Chasiduth, right? So don't imagine a real building. Imagine your body, imagine your brain, imagine something spiritual. This is Chasiduth. It's taking what the physical things are in the Torah mentioned, and it's bringing it into spirituality. You said the Mishkan, which is surrounding the vessels, right? The vessels are inside. that indicate about faith, which is a simple faith, which is the or makif. So in spiritualism, we have or pnimi, an inner light, an external light. That's why, for example, the reason why people wear a yarmulke, a kippah, and a hat, or other clothing. The other clothing, the additional clothing, and the hat is the or makif. It's like the surrounding light. And this is like the mishkan, and the kelim and the vessels indicating about achievements and levels. Okay, which are the tzaddikim achieve in avodat Hashem. And Moshe Rabbeinu, he was in a higher level, right? In a very high level. So according to his level, he needs to start from the kelim, which is again, the Mishkan is just a simple faith, and the kelim and the vessels inside are the achievements. So he started, okay, I'm already there. Let's talk about the achievements and the level. And then you can bring the Mishkan, which is the Emunah, which is the faith. And therefore in the Parashat Truma, where Betzalel was not mentioned over there, only what Hashem commanding Moshe, it says first to do the vessels and then the Mishkan. But in Parashat Kitisa, when Hashem is commanding Moshe to nominate Betzalel for the Avodat of the Mishkan, of building the Mishkan, over there it says, Re'eh, karati b'shem Betzalel. Hashem is telling him, look, I'm calling Betzalel ben Uri ben Chur, Lemate Yehuda, right? I filled him with wisdom, I filled him with that. He have all the skills that he needs. V'asu et kol asher tziviticha, and they will do everything I commanded you. So over there, it's mentioned first the oil moed and then the vessels, because that parasha was referring to the Klal Israel, which is lower level than Moshe. They don't have achievements or levels. They need to start from the basics. Then they can have the vessels. So they need to start with effort in faith, which is the Mishkan, right? That's the surrounding light. That's the basics. From that, they were going to achieve to the higher level and achievement, which is the vessels. And this is the explanation to what Betzalel told Moshe. First, we have to work on our faith before we're talking about levels. Just to believe in Hashem, you know, right? The basics, the ABC. We need to crawl, walk, and then run. But he says it's not just the way of the world, right? But it's the level of the world, which means someone that doesn't have level, right? Like Baal Tshuva. Remember, right? When we started our path, first acknowledging there is Hashem and starting with the faith, and we had nisyonot, and sometimes we hold, sometimes we don't, right? It's all because of the faith. It's the basics. And after you achieve a basic faith that you have, you believe in Hashem, then you can climb higher and higher. And therefore, they have to start first with the Mishkan. A man building a house first, and then he put the vessel. And now, according to that, Moshe, right? Amar lo Moshe, Betzel el hayita, which means, she'al yadcha, by you, Betzalel, you explain the meaning of Hashem command, what he told me and what he's telling you. Which means, in the Parashat Kitisa, ne'emar leBetzalel, which means that was for the Klal Israel, that the minhag ha'olam, the olam, needs to start from the foundation, from the simple faith. And this is the meaning of Allah Moshe v'afach, that Moshe reversed. It is if like he didn't understand Hashem's goal in these two parashiyot, and it's looked like he reversed them. Because מה שאמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא פרשת תרומה, לעשות קודם את הכלים, first you do the vessels, and then you do the Mishkan, that's for his level, which is very high, that he can do that. He can start from the achievement and the level, and then to have the faith. But for the Klal Israel, for them, in Parashat Kitisa, it says, להתחיל מקודם בעבודת המשכן, you're starting first with the Mishkan, put the faith and everything in the foundation, in the faith, and then you'll be able to get to the vessel, to the achievement. And we found that according to these two parashiyot, basically both of them are Dvar Hashem, right? It's not a contradiction. It's teaching us a path in the avoda, in how to serve Hashem, which means these and the other one are Divrei Elokim Chaim. These two paths are true, because in our avoda, in our work, we should have faith and achievement and levels, right? We shouldn't step on our place. We have to get progress. We need to learn more. We need to know more. The more you learn Torah, the more you do kosher food, the more you do halachot, etc., etc., you're refining yourself. So you're moving from a basic faith that, yes, I believe there is a Shem. Okay, now, practically, what does it mean? Okay, I daven, I learn, I do this, I do that. We're climbing. כמאמר הבעל שם טוב הקדוש זכותו הגדול said, but this is what he said, right? לאחר כל השגותיי, הרי אני לוקח את עצמי לאמונה פשוטה. He said, after all what I achieved, it's the Baal Shem Tov, right? He know how to revive dead and to do קפיצת הדרך and many things, and many stories. So he said, after all my achievement, I'm actually serving Hashem in a very basic faith, אמונה פשוטה. And the question is, okay, where to start? How do you start? And that's, we have these two parashiot. The path to Moshe Rabbeinu and to the tzaddikim, if someone is at a higher level, so he starts with the achievement. And if somebody is in a lower level, then he needs to start from the Mishkan, building the foundation, building the faith. Because he said, we cannot all the time, for example, I'll give just an example, I think. So maybe it will be better to understand. We have in our religion, we have levels, right? We have the Torah, which you can learn like a first grade. You learn the stories, just the stories. He did that, he was born, he did that, he killed him, he murdered his brother, stories. You can learn another layer, right? There is a Pshat, Rash, Remez, Vesod. You can learn another layer and another layer and another layer that goes in and in and in. Suddenly you understand that, forget about the literal story, it's talking about spiritualism. And then, for example, you have Kabbalah. In Kabbalah, it's something like it's really, really high. And sometimes people learning Kabbalah, which, by the way, it's relatively easy to learn. But that's the evil inclination, convincing people to learn Kabbalah because it is really important, very important. But if you don't have the foundation, learning the basic halachot, how to keep the mitzvot, then Kabbalah will be a poison. So that's the achievement. Achievements and level is Kabbalah. And the basics faith is to learn the practical thing. How to keep kosher, what happens if you, I don't know, you use a milchik pan with a fleshik wooden stick. Can you eat the food? You need to throw the stick. That's the basic halachot. That's the basics. That's the Mishkan. When we finish that and we know everything, then you can start and learn the Kabbalah and the achievement. So Moshe Rabbeinu was already there. So that's why Moshe told Bezalel, okay, we're starting from the vessel. And Bezalel said, no. We're not like you. Rest of the world need to work on the basic. And then Moshe told him, you were in the shadow of Hashem. Then the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh said, after all what I achieved, I'm taking myself to the foundation. And therefore we have these two parashiot, the path to Moshe Rabbeinu to the tzaddikim that they're holding in the level. They're starting from the vessels and then Emunah. And the way of the world, the people, most of us, it's starting from the Mishkan, from the basic, because we cannot walk in this type of high level and not to fall down. So we need to have the basic. We need to build steps. We need to build rails. And the steps is the Torah, and the rail is the halachot that keeping us and watching us. And he says, and for each individual, have also these two paths. And it's dependent. Sometimes it's changing. It's depending on the timing. Sometimes we feel like, wow, we are inspired and everything, and really we're running in the path of to Hashem, and sometimes we feel very, very low in our situation. And we need to hold in that. And that's why I said the Mishkan first. And according to that, we can say that in the Lashon, what Moshe said, Betzel el ha'ita, he's hinting Betzel to the shadow, which is the darkness in the time when it's really dark for us spiritually. And in that situation, we have to start from the basic faith, the simple one, building the house, Torah, halachot, etc. And this is why Moshe was talking about the vessels first, and Bezalel told him, yeah, that's for you, it's very good, but we need to build it for the klal, for the nation. We have to start for the basics. So Bezat Hashem, we will move from the basics to the advanced level, and we'll do it soon, and we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu. I want to dedicate the shiur to the success of all Am Israel, and especially for the IDF and all the people that are dealing with the security in Israel, and also for the Aliyat Neshama of my father-in-law, Benin Ben Naomi. You should have Aliyat Neshama. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbat.